everyone, welcome to Night City Sofa, a Cyberpunk RED talk show. I am Jesper, or Jess, alongside my co-host Games. Hey buddy.
Hi, I'm co-host.
And joining us on the show tonight is our Talsorian Games' Cyberpunk RED line manager, Jay Gray. Hello, Jay.
Hi, I am not co-host.
You could be.
I could be, but I don't have the time.
Right? You kind of have a job anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you both have jobs too, but I appreciate that you are making this your second job.
Well, thanks.
It's always a pleasure to have you here on the sofa. We've upgraded slightly, so it's a little more comfortable. It's less broken.
I do appreciate that. I've noticed that there's no spring going up my back this time.
Tonight we're going to talk to you about GenCon, the many announcements that have been released, and what's upcoming for Cyberpunk RED. I have a lot to cover, so we're going to jump in. We may or may not get to your questions. Fair warning now.
But if you have them, ask them in chat. We may get to them.
You never know. So starting with GenCon, so at the end of July, beginning of August, the team from our Talsorian Games attends GenCon, a gaming convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. And is GenCon an event that the entire team attends, or is it only like whoever can make it?
The entire team. This year, Dave Ackerman was not there because he had life to deal with, and Winter J does not generally come to conventions because of her own reasons. But the rest of the team was there. Plus, because we bring lots of extra people to help us work the booth and run games. Pretty much everyone is. So the office more or less shuts down for the week we are at GenCon.
That's amazing.
Nice, that's awesome.
So because it's a normally a weekend event, so do you go down like at the start of the week, or?
Well, so GenCon runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
You set up on Wednesday. Because we have to set up the booth, we have to set up or get the games ready. That happens on Wednesday. We arrive on Tuesday because the last thing you want to do is fly, especially the people that are flying in all the way from Seattle, fly in exhausted with a time zone change, go right to the hall. The hall, they don't turn on the air conditioning in the vendor hall during the beginning of August. So you don't want to go in there and die while you're tired. You want to have a good night's sleep. So we arrive the day before, and because we have no control over when we'll finish our booth, it's tearing down our booth on Sunday after the show closes. That is dependent upon a variety of factors. And like, for example, we have a hanging banner, and when they get the machine to pull the banner down depends on the order of sign up and a few other things. And so basically, long story short, because we don't want to miss our planes, we go out Monday. So very long story short, we are there for 6 days, almost 7 days.
That makes a lot of sense.
I bet that makes it a lot more doable, though, than trying to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. 1 year before I joined the company, they did schedule to go home on Sunday. They missed their flight because they hadn't gotten their pallets yet, so they couldn't send their stuff back. And after that, they're like, yeah, no, we'll never do that again. And sometimes it turns into more because there's weather that's keeping you an extra day, or whatever reason you can't fly. That's happened once or twice.
With those extra days.
Basically,
sorry.
Yes. We lose a week. We don't lose a week, but we have a week of alternative work.
Right.
Yes. With those extra days, though, does that also give you guys a chance to catch up? Because I know you're not all in the same area.
Yeah, no, that's one of the great things about conventions is I get to see everybody, and we hang out, we catch up. James and I actually do nighttime work at PAX Unplugged on various things. We've talked about that before. At GenCon, it's, excuse me 1 second. That cough I was talking about. At GenCon, we don't do as much, office work, but there's a lot of talking and just meeting, catching up. And sharing space, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
I'm sure. Yeah, and I remember Rob telling a story about how he was trying to sleep while you guys were having a conversation at one point.
Yeah, that's a PAX Unplugged. No, GenCon's nice just because we get to spend time with each other. We have meals, and that's just nice.
Yeah. What about your experience with the fans, like during the time it was open? Is there anything that stuck out?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's always nice. First things first is very few people come to seek me out. I just want to make this very clear. I am not Mike Consmith, and that is not a bad thing, honestly, because poor Mike gets swamped when he's at the booth. We actually have to say, Mike, you can't be in the booth now, because if you are, no one can get to the register. Because he just collects a crowd. But no, it's lovely to come to talk to people and listen to their stories about how they played Cyberpunk or Shadowscar, or any of our other games, past, future, present. It's important because I've told people this is game designers are often very self-effacing, but the truth is we all want our work to be out there, because if we didn't, we wouldn't put our work out there. We believe that it deserves to be played, and we want people to play it. And the only way you can know it's being played, really, to viscerally understand that, is to hear people tell you about it being played. And so that's really important. And we learn too from how we hear people playing it. People do things we don't expect with the rules, or play ways we don't expect, and that goes into our data bank, and we pick up new ways to do new things in the game.
Also, Cyberpunk was inducted into the Ennie Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Yes. So there are two in the United States. There are two really big tabletop game awards, the Origins and the Ennies. And the Origins has had a Hall of Fame forever, and Cyberpunk has been in there for quite a while. And this year is when the Ennies decided to start having their Hall of Fame. And Cyberpunk, it happened to be that they've been doing it to catch up, essentially, because a lot of they haven't done this for a while, but the Ennies has been around for a while. They've been doing a game a month, and they wanted to be sure to give the Ennie, I think, induct the game, or a Hall of Fame game, at the Ennies to someone they knew would be there, where the original creator would be. And for example, they probably could have done Shadowrun, actually, come to think of it, because their original creators were there for the big anniversary. But they chose Cyberpunk, and so Mike got up on stage, and he dragged me up with him, and we gave a little speech, and we got a little award, and that is back in the office next to our Origins Hall of Fame award.
That's awesome.
Well, very well deserved.
That was very. I'm humbled. I joked. First of all, I don't think I have a small part in Cyberpunk. I acknowledge that I currently have a very big role in Cyberpunk. But I joked that if you were to divide it was a plexi thing, rectangle, right? I joked that if you were to shave that off into pieces and award it to people based on the amount of contributions, I would have a sliver, and there would be hundreds upon hundreds of other people who would also have slivers, and my sliver would be smaller than many of the people who worked on 2020. But I am humbled to have been a part of it, because it's amazing that I'm part of a game that has so much love. It really is.
You can really hear it whenever anybody who has worked on Cyberpunk, when I hear interviews or anything, you can always hear like the joy and the pride and the passion that they have for the game, and it's never failed to be there.
It really is. I've heard, not naming names because that would be mean and wrong, but I have heard people talk about their experiences working on games in the past, and they're like, "Oh God, I'm glad I'm not working on that anymore." And I've never heard anyone from the original days in Artal up till now say, "Oh, I regret it because it was a terrible experience." I'm fortunate to not only work on a great game, but to work for a company that really works hard to take care of its people and treat people with respect.
And I think it shows with the product you guys make that you make a great product, and you're a great company. So,
Well, thank you.
Very transparent, always helpful. I've never seen any company be so open with it's weird to say consumers. I know we are, but it feels weird. Like it definitely feels like a community, not, here's my product and there's like this wall. You guys have always been so accessible, and it's amazing.
That's important. If we were like CDPR can't be like this, for example, the video game, because the video game has millions of fans and you can't interact with people on that level. It would exhaust you. You'd need many more people than they have. Most people would be tired all the time. With a smaller community, it's super important for us to interact with our community, and because we're smaller and we need to, survival speaks to the need to build up and keep people loyal through manipulation. I joke, but it's through friendship. By making it a community, we build loyalty because there's space between our products, and in that time they should wander. They can, and in fact, I encourage them to wander to try other games. But we always want people to come back.
Well, I'm not sure there's going to be much space in the latter half of this year, but we will get there.
Okay.
Get through the questions. You guys have so much coming down the pipeline. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Are there any other things you would like to mention or talk about GenCon before?
Oh no! If you came to GenCon and you saw us at GenCon, thank you for coming to our booth. Thank you for buying our products. If you bought our products, thank you for playing in our games. If you played in our games, honestly, that is the coolest thing about being at GenCon, is knowing that people are buying our stuff and playing our stuff, because we make games to be played.
Not just sit on your shelf.
I know we make games to be. No, I'm as a joke. I have plenty of games that sit on my shelf. But yeah, Mike said something once where he said I can make a game, but I don't want to put the game out if it's going to be like, it's going to crowdfund and people are going to get it and they're going to play it once and put it on their shelf and never touch it again. That's not the kind of game that I really want to make, unless it's a concept game that's designed specifically for that, like say 10 Candles, or even Teenagers from Outer Space.
Right.
Yeah. Which is a game that you can play as a campaign, but it works really well as a one-off every once in a while too. But yeah, we make games to be played. That's really important to us.
Well, and there's a reason that me and Blank's original Cyberpunk 2020 book fell apart to the point that we had to put it into a binder in page savers, and even my current book is fairly beat up. It shows love. It gets used.
Yeah, absolutely. I have many a book that is worn out. I have actually working on the Night City 2045 book. I had Dolan Pondsmith, our assistant office manager, send me a new copy of the Night City core book, source book, because my copy is already beat up, and I said I'm going to be marking the heck out of this, and I don't want to destroy my original copy that I had since before I was with the company. So could you send me a new one?
That's
and
awesome.
She did, and it was nice. And now that's the one I use to mark up and highlight and put sticky notes in.
On a side kind of tangent to, making
Yes.
and marking things up. If you were to put all your spreadsheets together into a book, would it exceed the core rule book in thickness?
Oh, see, that's hard to tell because it's always hard to tell how many pages are in a spreadsheet.
That's true.
All my spreadsheets?
Oh,
possibly. I've got.
You have so
and
many. Oh my goodness.
I do. Well, and then it's a question of which spreadsheets. For example, I have multiple spreadsheets for each project that do things like work out budget and organization. I keep a separate spreadsheet for working with freelancers. If you count those, absolutely. If you just count my data spreadsheets,
yeah, let's go.
Probably not. That might be close. But they are pretty thick. There would be there'd be a lot of them. There's some like 500 locations in my location spreadsheet, and 1,000 I think characters in my character spreadsheet. It's quite a few.
I
I'm
believe it.
shocked that there's not more locations, but that's only because we know there's 450 in the source book.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah, and
that's
there
why
are-
I'm just like, really? There's only like 50 extra ones like that. That's great for us. It was just-
I should emphasize that's my Night City location spreadsheet.
fair. Okay.
And that, yeah, not my just general location spreadsheet.
World at
yes.
large. Yeah. Okay, thank you for letting me go on my little whimsical tangent there.
Spreadsheets are great.
I've been saved by many a spreadsheet.
I would probably benefit from them.
Okay, so let's get into the announcements and the products that are coming out. During GenCon,
Yes.
Rob Barefoot, the media and press liaison, who's absolutely wonderful, released news and information every day about the various lines and products that are coming out, with as much information as he could give. I'm going to start. We're going to end with Cyberpunk RED, obviously, because that's the one we can talk the most about. But I do want to talk about some of the other ones. I realize you're not the line manager for them, so I've general questions. If you can't answer,
Okay.
I am aware. First, I want to talk about Talsorian Presents, which was formerly called 5 by Infinity.
Yes.
There was absolutely no information I could find on the website about Talsorian Presents, so can you tell us what that line is or what it contains, etc.?
Sure. Talsorian Presents is our bespoke line, so to speak. It is where creators can do creator content. It was basically the best way to say it is you see this with publishing in general. Is like an author will get very famous and get some sway, and then they'll get essentially their own line with the publisher where they say they can handpick books and say these are the books that I want you to read. Like Rick Riordan does that. There's a whole Rick Riordan Presents line. He is the Percy Jackson series author, and that is what it is. It is us showcasing smaller indie games, stuff that may not be a whole line, or may not get the attention it deserves because there's a lot of games out there and it's hard to compete without a certain amount of gravitas in the industry already. And it will start with Fossilized Violence, which is a game designed by James Hutt, our senior designer, in which you are cave people in a very fantasy, Robert E. Howard-ish fantasy world, hunting dinosaurs. And it's very cool, and we're excited getting closer on it than we have been before. I leave that to James to speak more about, but games that will follow will include games by other creators outside the company. Those games will generally be creator-owned, which means we will publish them, we will distribute them, we will sell them, but at the end of the day, the rights belong to the creator, so that when we're done, 10 years from now or whatever, they can go in, they can do a second edition or whatever, and make that their line. That is where we're going with that.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I was going to mention Fossilized Violence. The announcement did say it hopefully will have a Q1 2026 release, which is super exciting. I have been looking forward to this game ever since it was announced because it doesn't want to be a caveman fighting dinosaurs.
No, it's very cool.
Also, if you guys go to the announcements page, you can also see a map of, I think it's called Pangean, which is the world for
Yes.
Fossilized Violence.
Yeah, it's a great map. James and Winter J have done some amazing work with that.
The other thing in the announcement stated that there was sorry, did you want to?
No, that's it. Go ahead.
Okay. There was more than one title cooking in the line, and a secret one would be shared soon. So that sounds like there's like 3 titles total. Is that correct? The only one announced is Fossilized Violence. Can you?
I defer to James and I defer to Rob on that.
Fair enough. But yeah, keep your guys keep a lookout for Talsorian Presents. That's an amazing line, and I love that you guys are doing that. Moving on to The Witcher. The
Yes.
Witcher TRPG is no longer on hiatus, to the excitement of many people, I know. Mike Pondsmith is taking the reins as of right.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Yeah. At the moment, basically, we were looking around. I was like, we got to do more Witcher. Cody's like, I'm kind of busy with Shadowscar. I could do Witcher 2. And Mike was like, you know what? I like to give Witcher a try. So Mike is handling Witcher with Cody's input. He is currently working on. They are working on the adventure book. That's all I can say about it right now. That's all that I am authorized to say.
Okay. I'm going to ask other questions. We'll see. First, the announcement includes the Witcher Trauma deck, which I suspect will be similar to the Cyberpunk RED Trauma deck in how it works, in theory. Little cards.
Probably.
About the injuries.
Witcher has a more robust critical injury system than Cyberpunk because it's a close-up hack and slash game, and so the basic concept will probably be the same.
Okay, perfect. By the way, guys, if you don't have a Cyberpunk RED Trauma deck, it's super handy. You can pick up your copy at TTRPG. So do that
Do
at
it.
some point.
It's worth
Not right
it.
now, though. Next, the adventure I believe that you were talking about is The Witcher Untold Tales.
Yes.
The announcement said it's a book full of adventures from across the continent that spotlights the lives of jobs of the physicians, soldiers, thieves, and merchants that ply their trade in the cities and wilderness of the continent. Now, you said Mike is working on this alongside Cody. Do you have freelancers as well, or is it primarily Mike?
There are freelancers working on it. I can't say who. That's not my line.
Fair enough.
But there are good people working on it.
And then the last thing, and I'm not sure if you know the answer to this, is the core rulebook for The Witcher. I know Cody is currently looking at it. He's provided a lot of answers to a lot of questions in the Discord. If you're not part of our Tels Discord, join. But if I recall correctly, a new core book isn't being released. So is it an errata that's going to come out, or is it just going to be on the Discord? Do you know?
That is not my place to talk about that.
Okay.
I don't want to speak for Mike and Cody, and say one thing and it turns out to be one thing plus 5 or one thing minus 3.
Right. You're not just gonna make up something really ridiculous.
Well, it's like I know we share all our plans, but at the same time, if they, I'm not meeting with them regularly, getting status report on The Witcher. So if they changed, they changed a decimal point when I wasn't looking. I don't want to say X and then find out it's X.5 or whatever.
Fair.
And I respect that.
Oh, yeah.
See, me personally, I would just make up the most ridiculous thing, like, it's a full VR experience that's about to come out.
Obviously, what we're working on is, in fact, a complete Witcher brain dance. But
yeah,
you didn't hear it from me.
Okay, perfect. Moving on to Shadowscar, which is created by Cody Pondsmith.
Yes.
Players are part of the Shadowscar agency and journey through a multiverse that's threatened by unseen yokai. There are quite a few announcements for Shadowscar, starting with the rulebook.
Yes.
We got to look at the cover art in full, and I want to talk a little bit about the Kickstarter, because right now it's just a mailing list, and the Kickstarter starts October 1st.
Yep. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head, so I'm gonna say this right now. We are in the pre-crowdfunding phase where we advertise that it's coming, and we collect email addresses, and we do the cool things. I encourage you to go to our website and sign up for the email. It is at talsoriangames.com/shadow-scar. Please go and sign up. Starting a new game in a new world with a new system is a hard thing to do, even for a company that's established. So in some ways, it's actually harder for a company that's established, because a lot of people, they'll look at it and they'll go Cyberpunk, and we'll go, hey guys, Shadowscar. cool, Cyberpunk. So if you want to support us, you say, hey, I want to support our Talsorian Games, please go and support this Kickstarter, this upcoming Kickstarter, by including your email address and helping us with this crowdfunding. It is going to be awesome. It is going to start soonish, I believe. I'm not sure on the exact date. It'll be this fall. And it is worth it. It is a great game with an amazing world, and every single person that has played it, and it feels like one of those games where you really got to play it to get it. But every single one of those players who's played it has really come away and loved it. And we had this thing, actually, it's funny, at GenCon, we had the starter box out. We had plenty of the starter box there, and they didn't move much on that first day. So people came in and they're like, oh, I want the Cyberpunk stuff. And occasionally they're like, I want the Witcher stuff. And then people, after the first day, had gone to our 1-hour demos in the demo hall. They played in our 4-hour games. And that box set just started moving on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It moved through a number of units because people were playing it and really understanding it. So please give it a try. Go to drive-thru and download the Shadow Scar free quick start, which is really generous. Look at the free character generation rules that are on drive-thru. We've given a lot of preview away for $0, so please go look and play and enjoy, and then support us on this, our first new game launch, our first new world launch in many years. Let us know that this is something you support, that you support creators making new things. Please.
Yes. Go do. If you haven't, pause the video if you're watching this after the
yes.
fact. Go click the link and
yes. Please
I
do.
put the link in chat.
Yes, link is in chat.
Thank you.
Well, we talk about crowdfunding. Is this the first time our Talsorian Games has done crowdfunding?
Okay, so I'm gonna be upfront. No, before I came to the company several years ago, we did something called Mekton Zero, and it succeeded. It was supposed to be a new edition of Mekton, and it succeeded, and it was a successful Kickstarter. And then the whole 2077 thing came along, and long story short is we were not able to make that game at that time. We still haven't made that game because it's something Mike wants to do, and Mike has been busy being the uber god of Cyberpunk. And that is a full-time and plus job. So we ended up, we funded the money to everyone we could get a hold of. I think for the most part, everyone got their pledges back. So this is our first, but I'm going to say this. Shadow Scar is done. I'm in kickstarting this, backing this Kickstarter. You come in with the reassurance that the book is written, edited, art is done, the book is laid out. What we're essentially crowdfunding is the print run.
The risk is as close to zero as possible.
Yeah, so we can't promise that our printer won't blow up tomorrow, but I can promise that when the Kickstarter is done within like a day or two, within a short period of time, you will have the PDF of the game ready to go. That is the plan, and then the books will come as soon as we can get afterwards. We are as soon as we know like how many we need to print, we will start printing it. This book is done. This game is done. It is ready to play. It is ready to go, and you will be able to get it. So this is a almost no risk Kickstarter.
That's so exciting. So exciting.
Yeah. Cody was very firm, and they said, I'm not going to crowdfund this unless I know that the book is done before we start.
Fair enough. Also, the storyteller screen is was announced, I guess? I don't know. I said it's set to release. I don't know if it's releasing at the same time. I don't think that was ever mentioned when that's coming out. But do you know if it's going to be 4 panels like the Cyberpunk RED one, or is it normally like the 3-panel screen?
That is a Rob and Cody question.
Cool. All right. Next up, Shadowscar Secrets of the Mosaic is a compendium of player options and information drawn from the 4 worlds of Shadowscar, including new weapons and tools, new techniques and Mikio, new entries to the bestiary, and information on world fragments. And that is upcoming, I assume somewhere way after the core rulebook, but you guys already have in the works plans to add to what you're releasing.
Yes, Cody is working on that as we speak, I believe.
Which is super, super exciting. So, and also, Shadowscar DLC has been released, and I think plan to continue to release at the beginning of every month. So, it's here, and it's wonderful, and they're giving you guys so much. So, go send your email and support.
It's worth the support.
Just like Cyberpunk, the plan is to provide lots of free content, so that even though it may be a few months between supplements, paid supplements, you'll have plenty of stuff, adventures and new items and what have you. I won't speak for Cody. I'll just say that he is working hard to make sure that there is regular DLC for Shadowscar, much the same way we do the model we created with Cyberpunk.
Awesome.
It's so wonderful to see. Did this month's release? Am I crazy?
Yeah,
it did, right?
I believe it just released. Yeah, just released. Cody, Shadowscar releases at the beginning of the month. Cyberpunk releases at the end of the month. Is the tradition is our current schedule, and I believe that Shadowscar's DLC for this month has released.
Yes, I think so. I think I distant. Time is a weird soup. And sometimes things get crossed, but I'm fairly certain the DLC for this month just released. If you haven't checked that out, go and do so. Talsoriangames.com. And then click.
Yeah. Also at Drive-Thru, I believe. Yeah, they've set up much like for Cyberpunk, right now, just this year, a single product that will contain all of a year's DLC.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. And
it will be updated each month. Yep.
I'll let you guys do that. That's all I have for the other lines before we get into Cyberpunk RED. Is there anything you would like to talk about? Anything I missed? Thank you, Game Away, for putting all the links in chat. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Please support the Shadowscar. I promise you, this is my personal promise. I would not say this unless I truly, honestly believed it. I would just kind of like move on into the next thing. But Shadowscar is a worthy and amazing game. It is some amazing work. Cody does things with it which you don't see in games very often, with stealth and assassination and quiet gameplay. Not like quiet as in boring, but quiet as in stealthy ninja stuff that it's just you don't see in other games, and it does it well. And the system's great. So please support this. Please let us know that you want new stuff from us. Thank you.
I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to assume that this has not been discussed and or is not something, because you were, again, not the line manager of The Witcher. But chat question says they're wondering if Witcher DLC will resume.
That is not my department. I'm afraid that I cannot answer that. I suspect, I have no idea what to expect there. I think right now they're just busy working on the new book.
Okay. One, I figured, it wasn't your line, so there was a good chance you didn't. Two, I'm like, knowing that they're still working on the core rulebook and this new book, I don't think DLC is more than a potential thought somewhere.
Yeah, that's not for me
priorities.
To say.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So once you guys go and sign up for the Shadowscar Kickstarter email.
Yeah. We'll wait.
We'll wait, yeah.
You can multitask. Just open another tab, keep listening. You don't need to watch our faces.
It's very true. Let's move on to the neon-lit streets of the dark future. There were 5 announcements for the Cyberpunk RED line. And each of them had...
Oh god, I'm so tired.
I can
I'm sorry.
only imagine.
I'm kidding.
Honestly.
No,
Excited
every time I list the
exhaustion.
number of projects I'm working on at once at various stages, I'm always like, what the hell is wrong with me? These were all my ideas. Why am I doing this?
I did question that a little bit when I saw when everything was coming. I was like, oh my goodness, how is he? Do you sleep? At this point, I'm fairly certain you don't.
I'm going to say, no, the company, Mike and Lisa are very strict about me only working 40 hours a week, and I only work 48 hours. Not 48, 40 hours. I do not crunch.
Don't tell them my extra 8 hours that I sneak in there without.
No, it's all good. I actually decided if I need like a day where I'm like, I got guys, I need a day. And they'll say, okay, take a day.
That's wonderful.
Nice.
So that's good. But yes,
Yeah,
so go on. Sorry.
But each of them had for the first time that I think we've ever seen, or at least I've ever seen, is timeframes, release timeframes, not dates because life is unpredictable. Cough, COVID,
Very
and
rough
tariffs.
timeframes, yes.
Cough.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm certainly not complaining. I'm very excited that there's like timeframes. What was the decision to include those in this announcement?
We have done timeframes before, and we just giving people a rough roadmap just lets them know that we are working on it. You know, we just want to let people know that this is not just us saying, "Hey, we wish we could put out this book." It is we are actively working on this book, and that's important. People are invested in Cyberpunk, and we want to make sure they know that we are too.
It's nice for people to see the roadmap, even if it's a rough sketch.
It is a very rough sketch. There may be detours. There may be, a changing of order of the cars on the road, but it is a roadmap.
It is. And I'm going to start on our roadmap from what was announced to be released, the most recent, to, sadly, those things that have gone on hiatus.
Yes.
So we're going to start with single player mode.
Single player mode.
Single player mode.
God, I've been working on. I've been wanting to get single player mode done for several years now. Almost as long as I've been with the company, I've wanted to do a solo play book. If you are a new listener or you are more traditional gaming, solo play is exactly what it sounds like. It is playing a game with no one else. There's variations. Like, for example, you could do group solo play. I know as weird as that sounds, where you play like 2 or 3 people and there's no GM. And what happens is you need something called a GM emulator. And that GM emulator, through various systems, including things called oracles and lists, allow you to, and your imagination, allow you to simulate a game master, basically by replacing the game master's ability to make decisions on the fly with these systems. It is great. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and then I saw Peter Gordon on Hollow Pond's solo play on YouTube doing Cyberpunk, and I was like, wow, I've been threatening to do this for a while now. He actually has a system. And so I contacted him, and he said, yeah. And then he was very, very patient with me as I worked my way through and convinced Lisa and Mike and Cody that we needed to put this on the schedule, and allot the money needed to develop it, even though we already had several projects going. Long story short is what we came up with is fantastic. I am super excited. It is going to the printer very soon. It's going to be a digital and print-on-demand product called Single Player Mode. It's going to be 104 pages. It is going, as soon as Drive-Thru's print-on-demand service approves the files, I will order the proofs. As soon as the proofs show up and they turn out to be good, God, I hope they turn out to be good, then I will put the book up for sale. It will be at sale as digital and print-on-demand, softcover in premium and standard color versions. That's it. It is 104 pages. I've said that. It is over 100 tables and charts of various things for creating games. Everything from nouns, verbs, and adjectives, not unique, but custom tailored to Night City, to districts of Night City, specific locations of Night City, flavors of kibble, NPCs, both generic and specific. It's just a lot in there, as well as other tools, systems for creating creating missions, systems for randomly working out beat charts from the beat chart system, systems for running investigation scenes by yourself, social scenes by yourself, combat by yourself. There is a new quick and dirty combat system, which you can basically run a whole combat in a much shorter period of time. It truncates it into what I call montage moments, and it's not something I recommend for big bosses or major encounters with lots of dramatic weight. But if you, for example, are going through and you get into a random encounter with some gang, it is a great system for determining, very quickly how the combat went, and maybe somebody got hurt, maybe somebody didn't, in a third of the time that it takes, maybe even like a tenth of the time. And there is a quick and dirty net running system that does something similar. It's not something I recommend for really dramatically impactful net runs, but if you just need like, oh yeah, I need to open this door, and the door has a net architecture and it has 3 floors, and I don't want to run the whole net run. You could run it really quickly this way without having to do like break into a 10-round combat with a black ice and the like. So those are tools you can use without it. If you are a solo player, it works. If you want to try solo play, if you want to do GM-less play, if you are a GM and you want an assistant game master who can quickly generate things for you, because hey, I expected my party to go to Haywood, and my party has gone to Rancho Coronado, and now I need to come up with a whole new thing for what to do when they're in Rancho Coronado, because they have gone so far off the rails that they are somewhere in the next state. And this helps you generate on the fly everything: NPCs, adventures, locations, everything. It is great. Please consider getting it. I think you're going to like it.
I love this idea so much because me and Blank and Giphy on the Saves channel were doing an AD&D GM-less stream that we did for a few episodes, but him and I had talked about doing it in other settings, like in Cyberpunk or World of Darkness and stuff like that, because it would be really interesting to like tell the different styles of stories without a GM. So actually, you guys providing functional charts and things is amazing, and I love you for it. Thank you.
It is. Peter came up with some great systems, and then we added to them. And it is, honestly, my honest opinion is this book, if I'm running Cyberpunk, this book is essential. Even if you're a player, for example, I would take this and I would say, oh, my downtime, I'm going to generate everything that happens in my downtime. And my downtime is not going to be, oh yeah, I guess I did a hustle. My downtime is going to be, I did a hustle, and during the hustle, this happened, and I met this person. And seriously, I would go out on a limb and say this is, after the core rulebook and the GM screen, the most essential GM tool we have ever put out for Cyberpunk RED. In my opinion.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I believe it.
I have some skin in the game. Though. So.
That and the weather, but yeah.
Well, see, the weather is great because if you were to take, okay, I got the date path and I got the weather and I've got the music charts from the back of Rocker Boy Index and a few other things, and say, yeah, all these things. Imagine those as tools for you as a GM times 100.
That's amazing.
That's what this book is. Though you need to have those individual, because we didn't actually put the weather and the music and the date paths in there because I needed to keep this book to about 100 pages. Right.
Because I'm sure, knowing your spreadsheets and such, you could have made it a lot longer. So
I was honestly tempted to take every random thing chart from every thing we've put out so far and put them in there. But the problem is the projection would have added 50 to 60 more pages. And I thought, well, no, people can go get these things from their other things, and if they want to, they can print them out and stuff them in the back of the book. We're making a soft cover, not hardcover, by the way, because this is a book I anticipate a lot of GMs taking down to their local office store, having them cut off the spine and coil bound, and so it can lie flat. That's easier to do with a soft cover book than a hardcover book. But I can see a lot of GMs taking charts from there, charts from Augmented Reality, which you can get at Drive-Thru RPG, which is a great list of charts. From, I don't know, go get them from Shadowrun, go get them from any other game. I think I say this somewhere in the book, actually. We say this in the book, is that once you start solo playing with a tool like this, or you start jamming with a tool like this, you become this collector, this impassioned collector of lists. And so you'll want the 100 lists in this book, but you'll also want to find lists from other products as well, including ones we make and ones that you can buy from other companies. I encourage you to collect them all.
Loot box list right at the top. Very important.
Collect
Yes.
them all, of course, after you've gone to the Shadow Scar link.
After your Shadow, make the Shadow Star lists. Use those
Yeah,
too.
look at your shadow scars.
No, I'm super excited about single player mode. And like I said, it's something I've wanted to do for a while because you hear this a lot, right? It's like, I would like to play Cyberpunk RED, but I don't have friends. I don't have friends. They say, or I don't have a group, or my group will only play D&D, or
That's the big one. Yep.
or my.
That's a big
any
part of our
member-
Discord.
Yeah, other thing, and now here, go play. You have this. You can play, or you can get 2 people and play and do it without a GM. Or we can't find a GM. We have the people. We can't find a GM. These are tools to play without a GM, whether you're playing by yourself or another person, or if you're a GM, they're tools to play to make your GMing life better. It is really an amazing book. I'm super happy, and I want to thank Peter for doing the work that I've been threatening to do for 5 years.
Thank you, Peter.
Giving you the jump start.
Pushing this.
It really was. Yeah, no, it was amazing. And you can, by the way, go to his YouTube channel and see not a rough form of these rules in play on his Cyberpunk RED solo playing going through it, so you get an idea of what it's like.
Link to chat.
I promise I'm going to stop putting links in chat, but yes, there is the link to
It's okay,
him
that one
in
was
chat
me,
as
so
well.
it's fine.
It's cool. There's a QR code like on the 3rd page of the book that takes you there. And that will be
Nice.
out. That will be out late this month or sometime next month, depending on how fast the proofs get to me. And assuming the proofs are good, I don't have to make any corrections because I forgot to put a RGB. I forgot to convert an RGB image to CMYK, or I put in a link, or I messed up the resolution or something. It's my nightmare whenever I send files out. Assuming that the proofs are good, it will be out at the end of this month or beginning of next month. So please be on the lookout for it.
Very exciting.
Amazing.
The only thing I had on my list that we didn't cover is that it does require the Cyberpunk RED Core rulebook to play.
Yes, it is. While it is called single player mode and it allows solo play, it does not replace the core rulebook. You still need that as well.
Yes. So make sure you pick that up as well. I'm super excited for this, as as a player and someone who terrifyingly attempts or thinks about GMing from time to time. Having those lists and having that ability to just generate something off the fly, or even because I do a lot of pre-planning and bullet points or whatever, and sometimes my brain's just I need an NPC, I don't know what. Having those tables there, so useful. But also as a player, I take a lot for my life path, where it's who is this person, or how did I get to the city, or what did I do? I can now roll on that, and I can flesh it out so much more easily and in depth, and I'm so excited to see and read all the tools that are contained within.
Yep, and we bring it. It's mentioned in the book that speaking of other things, Life Path is an amazing set of additional tables you can use in solo play. So you're making NPCs. We have some basic tools in there, there's an example of a bartender. There's a point where there's a social scene, and the characters go in and they gotta speak to a bartender, and our example solo player, Peter, I decided that Peter was the solo player throughout the entire book and all the examples, decides that all bartenders should have character. Even if you never meet this bartender again, even if you only swap a few words with him, all bartenders should have character. So he rolls on the verb chart, now he rolls on the adjective chart, and he rolls on the verb chart. And the verb chart was pulsing. That was the verb he got. And the adjective he got was encased. And so Peter decides that the bartender, whose name is Oscar because he rolled on the mask name table, not mask as in M-A-S-K, but M-A-S-C, short for masculine, He rolled on the masculine. There are 100 masculine, 100 femme, and 100 non-binary names in this book for you to run, plus 100 handles.
Oh my god! Just for the names alone, thank you. Thank you. This is what I struggle with the most.
So he rolls. Yeah, he rolls only on those 3 charts, on the name, the adjective, and the verb, and he comes up with a pulsing, encased bartender named Oscar, and he decides that pulsing means he beatboxes when he is not serving drinks and talking to customers, and he's encased because he has a chem skin that is plastic-like. So he's encased in plastic. So he's Oscar, the plastic chem skin beatboxing bartender. And that's just 3 charts he rolled on and a little bit of imagination.
Yep, and it really fills out the world for you.
But it is, and the thing is I don't know about anyone else. I get choice paralysis when I have no guidance whatsoever.
Yes.
Where it's like when the entire world is open to me, and I'm on the spot, and I have to come up with, this is NPC's name, and this is what the NPC was like. I go blank. My brain is like, there are too many choices. I'm overloaded. I can't decide. By having these charts, and you're free to, like, say pulsing didn't work, you roll again, and you get a different verb. You're free to do this, and that creates this really solid, here's my framework. And once I have a framework, I can say, okay, pulsing. And pulsing and beatboxing are not the same thing. I mean, I could have come up with pulsing being his chem skin was both plastic and it lights up, and he pulses like a disco ball. But I was like, oh, it's just how my brain works. My brain went to that. And because I had a skeleton to hang it on, I was able to come up with something, and that character becomes something interesting. That is the kind of character that you drop into your game, and then you guys are like, I'm going to come back to this bar. Oscar's cool. And when they come back to this bar, they're going to be looking for Oscar with the plastic chem skin who likes to beatbox.
Absolutely. I know one of my favorite NPCs in our current game that we've only ever seen once. In one scene, they made an appearance in one scene, and it was because our GM rolled on the random bodega owner table in the core rulebook, and it was like the words are non-coherent, so you just couldn't understand. So he spoke real fast, he spoke gibberish, and I'm like, this NPC, I want more of this NPC because of a random table.
And so, by the way, as the encounter expands in the example, at one point on the GM rolls to determine what Oscar values, and goes into the life path in the core rulebook, and uses that to determine that Oscar values honesty, and that guides the social interaction that the characters have with Oscar in that thing. So that was use of both tools in single player mode and from the core rulebook. And the bodega, great list. Bodega is a great list. The 20 things lists that Melissa Wong wrote for Datapack are great. Date path is great. Weather is great. I did put the kibble list that James wrote from collecting the random, put that in solo play mode, only because it went perfectly next to the new Trinity Fizz flavor list I created for that book. So point being is that this is a great tool, and then once you see this, you will see additional tools everywhere which you can use.
So whether you're solo playing, whether you're GM, whether you're a player, so many resources.
Yes. Please.
Pick it up.
I'm gonna beg you. Let's knock Daggerheart out of the #1 slot over at Drive RPG. I don't think that's gonna happen, and all power to my friends at Darrington Press, because I do have friends there. I hope that book sells well and pays their salaries, and it's great. But I would love to see it at the top of the list, because I think the book is worth it. I honestly do.
I'm super excited just so when we get to the point of reviewing it,
yeah, that's gonna be
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you guys and Wireheads and a few others do with it. I hope people pick it up. I hope people realize how cool it is. Solo roleplay. 10 years ago, I would have said, what? It's what? But the thing is I realized my first role-playing experiences were reading through the Lone Wolf books by Joe Dever back in the day. And those were solo role-play books. That was a solo role-playing experience. And so my first role-playing experience was solo play. that is something I don't think and so yeah, it's good. It's good to have friends, but it's also nice to sit down and say, hey, I want to play a Cyberpunk RED campaign that takes place in Toronto.
Right.
And or Vancouver, and my friend, I just don't have time to put up another game. I can give myself a couple hours on the weekend and just do it myself and test things out and come up with ideas and then write them down and maybe bring them over to a campaign. There's so much you can do. I'm so excited. Sorry, I've been babbling.
I'm very so excited for this. I'm so very excited.
I am really excited. I really hope people see in it the things I see in it.
Well, and I've been doing a lot of like solo play journal RPG stuff, and so I think even like as a journal exercise, this could be really cool.
Yep, and it is mentioned that how you record is your choice. There are a lot of forms at the back of the book for recording information and what happens, but also you can just journal, and you can do it as a bullet point journal and just write the highlights. You can go and turn it into a full fanfic type journal. That's up to you. You can, it's whatever you want to do, however you want to record the information from your session. That's your choice.
So many options.
All the options.
Yeah. But yeah, that is where single player mode is, and it is single player mode because we were calling it the Cyberpunk RED solo play book, and we realized that people will get confused because we have solos as a role.
Right.
So we leaned into the video game. Yeah.
Very excited for that. So, hopefully the proofs come back. Fantastic.
Yep.
Perfect.
Not on
and
fire.
We get it sooner.
Yeah.
Sooner.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Anything else about single player mode before I move on to the next?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So next, with a late 2025 release, is Interface Red Volume 5.
Yes.
Volume 5 collects most of the 2024 DLC releases, and the bonus content is going to be Solo of Fortune 2045, written by James,
Yes.
and it adds heavier military-level gear and combat drugs. There will not be any ACPAs. Stop asking. No.
Yes, also true. So James is working on this.
That comes from me, I should say. State.
Yeah. James has been working on this. This is his baby. Obviously, we're always happy to compile all the DLC from a year into a single interface Red, and we're getting to it a little sooner than later. We did a lot of brainstorming. We've been brainstorming for months as to what the bonus article should be, and then James is like, "I want to do Solo of Fortune 2045." Like, okay, you do Solo of Fortune 2045, and so he's working on it as we speak. And it's not just it's going to be cool gear, and I'm really excited about that. But it's also going to be a look into the mercenary life a bit, or just like the two Solo of Fortune books from Cyberpunk and Cyberpunk 2020. There will be articles, interviews. You'll get an idea of some of the conflict zones in the world, the hot zones going on, because it's not a safe world, and there are wars going on, whether they are in whether it is the Europeans trying to destabilize some African nations, or what were we talking about? Or civil wars in parts of in some European countries.
Yeah, I remember Soldier of Fortune 2020 had a lot of really good lore in it.
Yep, and we're looking to carry on that tradition. We won't be giving you. It's not obviously full campaigns, but you'll have a little better idea of what's going on in the world from a professional mercenaries perspective, and then you'll have some cool tools to play said professional mercenaries.
I'm sure tons of people are going to be excited to know that there's some world lore coming out, because I see that question a lot of what's going on in X location or what's happening over here, and that's
we'll be talking about that a bit more.
Yeah. Is there anything you can tell us, or maybe tease, what, like, the difference between, like, the combat drugs we got in Hornet's Pharmacy versus what combat drugs are going to come out in this one?
I can't yet.
Okay.
Because they're not in their final form yet, and so I can say that they are designed for. They are probably going to end up being less forgiving, but James is still working on their design.
Fair enough. Okay.
I will say, because we're going to get to this. We also say now, we have put Rusted Chrome on hold, and part of that is we're actually taking a decent amount from Rusted Chrome and putting it into Interface Red Volume 5, into Solo Fortune 2045.
Ooh, there you guys go. I know that.
Yep. So yeah.
Very happy.
Yeah. So some of the stuff that James is working on item-wise for that book was originally planned for Rusted Chrome.
I feel like there should maybe be a little, like, icon indicator somewhere. Like, this one, guys. You got this early. Here it is.
Yep.
Okay, so that's actually, in theory, so long as, life continues as is. That's 2 Interface Red volumes in 1 year that we're getting, and not that I'm complaining because I love my stuff. But what sparked the decision to release Volume 5 this year, not next year?
Honest truth is, we're catching up. The previous year should come out the year after, and so we're finally to the point where we can start doing that. And so you will see probably Volume 6 sometime next year. But this catches us up finally. We were behind, and now we're not, or we won't be once this comes out.
Fair enough.
Makes sense.
My favorite, you know what my favorite thing is with the interface books? It's not the new article. I'm like such an outlier person. I love seeing the new ads that get added to the interface.
That is always fun, and that's
thing.
literally me saying, "Oh God, I got a blank page. I got to do something with it. Time to make an ad. Time to make a form. Time to make something that can go there." And I manage it. I'm happy. It is a good chance for me to stretch my creativity as a graphic designer.
So I'm looking, not that matters, but I'm really looking forward to that as well.
So I appreciate, no, it matters a lot. I appreciate it. I work hard on those. I appreciate that someone appreciates them.
I do. I really do. Okay. Next is a book that's been teased all year. Has a hopeful release time frame the end of 2025 or early 2026, which is Night City 2045. Previously called The Edgerunner's Guide to Night City. Why the name change? I really liked Edgerunner's Guide to Night City. I feel like Night City 2045 is like thematic to older books, but why the name change?
So originally, it was originally Night City 2045, and then there was concern because when we started announcing Tales of the Red, it was originally Tales of the Red, Forlorn Hope, and people were a little confused in ordering it because people were like, "Wow, I want the Tales of the Red book," and then we had to say which Tales of the Red book, or they'd say, "I want the Forlorn Hope book." We were still selling the original 2020 Forlorn Hope book, and people get confused, and we say which Forlorn Hope. So. I was a little worried that people would get confused between this. Is that they'd say, "I want the Night City book," and we'd have to say, "Which Night City book?" But after as this year has progressed, it's become increasingly obvious that Edgerunners, by itself, the word Edgerunners, is now a sub-brand of Cyberpunk. Mm-hmm. And so if we say Edgerunners, a lot of people are going to come to it assuming it has something to do with the anime. Yeah. So in the end, we changed it back to Night City 2045 because we felt because the problem with Tales of the Red, we decided, Forlorn Hope, was that it was 2 titles we had previously used combined into 1 title. This time, at least, we assume people will be enough to know that, the Night City is different from Night City 2045 in the same way that Cyberpunk 2020 is different from Cyberpunk RED. And hopefully our vendors will understand that. That's basically it. Basically, we will not be using the Edgerunners word in a title, most likely, unless it is specifically related to the anime in some way, because that's just like, it's like if we said 2077, you'd expect it to be a 2077 tie-in somehow. if we say edge runners, a lot of people are going to expect it to be tied into the anime, and that just causes more confusion and possibly anger, and we're just going to avoid that. So, long story short, back to Night City 2045.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I think I find it cool to hear like how names change and how titles get created and why, like the intricacies behind it. It's like it's not as simple as just naming a thing. Like these are all the things we had to consider and the reasons why, and it's, I don't know, I find it cool.
Oh yeah, like every time we make a new company, I have to go and Google to make sure it's not an actual company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least it's not an actual company. Like there's a company called Militech, which is actually created after that. They sell combat. That was created after we did it. I don't know if they named themselves after our company or it's a coincidence, because military technology as a portmanteau is not a big stretch for the imagination, but it exists. Every once in a while we're like, oh wow, no, that's a real company. There really is a company that called itself that, because there's only so many names, word combinations out there.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about Night City 2045.
Sure. It's going to be roughly 300 pages. It's going to have over around 450 locations. It is going to cover every district in Night City as seen in the Night City Atlas that we released last January and talked about then, or February, whichever month we released it earlier this year. It is being written by a host of really amazing writers, or has been written by a host of really amazing writers, I should say. We are moving into editing soon. Art is in progress. Every district will have a half-page street scene to give a feel for the district, a piece of art. So this is something that I feel was missing in the original book, is that we got some great maps in the Night City book, but we didn't get a lot of great visuals of the city itself. And so we have done that. They are all being done. Currently, several are being worked on. They are of places so that you'll look at the map. If you're looking at the image, you'll be able to go into the book and say, hey, I recognize this building because this building matches the description of the building in that district that has already been written. That was very important. It was a lot of fun to work on this. I'm happy to say that because of the writers we had, not only is the writing better, but the art is. For example, when I was working on the art script for Kabuki, I wanted to make sure that my Japanese was right, or for Old Japantown. I want to make sure that the signs were right, and so I was able to go to our writer, who is actually Japanese and lives in Japan, and say, hey, I want the sign to say this, and not just what is the exact translation of what I told you, but how would this sign appear in, for example, in America, when you see a clinic, it's just going to be the name of the clinic. In Japan, apparently, when you see a clinic, it's going to also tell you the clinic specialty on the sign directly. This is also true with Spanish. The writer I had working on Santo Domingo is from Venezuela, and I would say, okay, I have a stand that is selling. It's a farm stand, essentially. It's selling garden stuff from a grown garden. How would a sign, like, what would be on the sign there? Is the person running it, this is the name of the shop, what would the sign be like? And they were able to tell me that. And so, and Little China, same thing with Melissa Wong, worked on that, and she was able to help me with that. So I'm really lucky that because of the variety and the diversity of our writing team, our art is going to hopefully feel like, when you see there, someone who has been to Japan is going to be able to walk and look at that piece of art and say, yeah, it doesn't feel like walking in Japan, because of course it doesn't, but it feels like people from Japan had a hand in making this. And that was really important. So it's going to be a lot of things. It's also going to talk about how Night City works. So it's going to talk about the Night City government, the Night City justice, the Night City transportation, it's got to talk about the outskirts. The outskirts get their own section. You'll learn more about that, and about the Dan and Laguna Bend. You're going to learn about the people who run Night City, characters in Night City, locations. It is not a block by block, building by building, like the Night City 2020 book was, because if you look at what's actually shown, it's a lot of cool locations, and I counted, and I made sure that I had more locations in this book than there was in that book. That's business, because I knew someone was going to say, well, you had this many locations in the original Night City book, why don't you? And I was like, well, we do now. But more importantly, it's a small section of the city, and because really what they were intending to show at the time was a small section of the city, they were able to give you the SimCity overview map, and that's great. But we are not able to do that, and honestly, we didn't want to, because that map didn't give you as much room to put your own Night City in my opinion. And this map is. So this map is going to be, you're going to have a view of the of the district, say Santo Domingo, and you're going to have pins, and the pins are going to tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like on the Night City map that we have out in the Night City Atlas. And then you're going to be able to go to that section, because the map's going to be right there, and say, oh yeah, pin 3B is blah. And there's all this space between 3B and 3C, and I can go in and I can put what I want, the apartment building I made up for my game there. It is cool. It will definitely advance plot. There's locations you've seen, lots of new locations, lots of little information. Playland by the Sea gets its own chapter. So you'll get to know about not just James Hutt worked so hard on this. He was so excited. He came to me, and we started when I said, Jay, I want to play Land by the Sea. And they're like, okay, you got it. But I said, go work with Rob, because Rob's actually worked in theme parks. And I want that to feel like someone who worked in theme parks has worked on it. And so, Playland has a chapter, so you know all the lands in Playland by the Sea, and all the rides, and the wealth of Yogangs that live there. The park managers let them live there in exchange for what is essentially free labor. It is a great book. I am super proud of it. I know we have a huge legacy. I am fully aware and agree wholeheartedly and 100% that the original Night City sourcebook is one of the best city sourcebooks ever created. Hands down, absolutely true. And my hope is that when people read this, they'll say, yeah, this is worthy of the legacy created by that book.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, I have full faith based on just what I've heard already.
Yeah. No, we have some amazing writers, and they worked hard, and then my job is to stitch it all together and add a few extra pieces.
I remember, and this may have been, so I can't speak much about it because it's speaking out of school, but I think it was one of the times when we were talking to James that he was all excited about working on the Playland at the Sea stuff, but couldn't tell us anything about it. So
yeah, he was super excited. He had a map. He had this whiteboard at the office that was just a map he made for it. That we took pictures of it, so there's going to be actually a map, but it's not going to be like an accurate map. It's going to be like the place maps,
like Disney
maps.
The area maps. Yeah.
Oversized cartoon representations of the different places, so that you know that if I go in this direction long enough, I'll reach it.
Yes, perfect.
But yeah, the in-world map for Playland by the Sea will be in this book if all goes well. So it is super exciting. There is going to be so much plot and lore and information in this book. It is even mind-boggling, I would say, because every once in a while I say, well, blah, 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 and there will be no new systems. There's not new mechanics. This is not a book about adding new systems to the game. This is a book about Night City and what's in Night City. And if you go back to the 2020 Night City book, it's the same thing. We're following that very rough pattern.
There's a mystery in Playland by the Sea that I want to go and investigate. You know what? That will be perfect for single player mode, because it ain't gonna happen in our game. So there we go.
There you go.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm so excited. I have a few questions. Games, was there anything you wanted to mention before I get into my massive list?
No, there's a loud cricket at my house, so I have the mic muted.
It's all good.
I was wondering what that was. Okay, cool.
So the first very simple thing, the Night City Atlas had over 150 locations.
Yes.
This has 450. I assume those 150 are included in that 450 count?
Yes, absolutely. Every location that has already been said is in there, and part of it. Yes, that was the nice thing about this was one of the more difficult things about it too was I had to come to the register and say, okay, you have to write new ways to write stuff that we've already written. By the way, in addition to squeezing, I know you're excited, you have your own plans, but you've also got to squeeze our stuff into the pre-existing stuff that isn't stuff you've created into this district. They did an amazing job. So yes, all the locations for Night City Atlas, which are pretty much all the locations we've introduced to date, are in the Night City 2045.
Beautiful. I love that we're getting street scenes for every district because I am a very visual person, and so having those representations there is going to be so helpful, I think, to just get that feel of immersion and everything. So thank you for doing that. The whole, everyone who's part of that, all the artists, everything. Thank you guys so much for giving us visuals.
Yeah, and I want to say even a district has different parts, so this is not going to be super universal, and so there's room. So if you're seeing, for example, downtown looks shiny and new, that doesn't mean there's not worn out places in downtown too. It's just we're showing, we chose one specific view, and that we felt embodies the rough soul of the district. But there's still room.
Yes, it's for me, cargo containers and cube hotels, the cover art for that DLC, where you have the cargo containers and the giant statue in the middle. I know not every cargo container community is going to look like that, but having that as a representation kind of changed how I envision cargo containers completely.
I will say there's a couple of cargo container communities in some of that art. There's all kinds of things in that art. There's 20 something pieces of art. It's gonna be amazing.
And we'll get to deep dive into all of them.
Yep.
Oh, that would have been a perfect segue to another question, but I'm going to forget if I jump, so I'm not. Rip, beautiful segue. I want to say at some point, and I could be wrong, it was mentioned that the districts are narrated by various medias. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so the fictional context of Night City 2045 is that Trace Santiago, son of Nomad Santiago and freelance journalist, who we've used a couple times now, is putting together this book for nomads and edge runners who are coming to Night City or in Night City and need more information. And to do this, he has essentially gathered together a bunch of other freelance medias, one per district, and they are each writing their district because he's working under the same principle I am, is that when you have the voice of someone in the community, that voice is more authentic and you get a better product. So every district is written by a media voice. Also, selfishly, this makes it a lot easier because I don't have to go through and edit everything into the same voice. It saves me a lot of time on the back end.
Well, and it feels more like a travel vlog, which is neat.
Yeah, and that's the important thing is we want it to feel like a travel vlog or a travel guide, and just a travel guide written by medias who are afraid to swear.
Fair enough. Are they all medias we've seen before, or are we getting some new medias introduced with those?
It's a mix. Some of basically when it started, I gave the writers a list of medias they could pick from, and some picked from the list. Some chose to make new medias. So it's going to be a mix of people. I think Jump Shot shows up. Trace is there. A few others. I'm pretty sure James is running under Jericho Hunt, but I'm not absolutely certain.
Okay. Yep.
I got
I
2 for killed last week.
Oh, I heard in against Adam Smasher, everyone dies against Adam Smasher. It's okay.
Incredible. Okay, so speaking of from forever ago, but deep diving into the art, the cover art for Night City 2045 was released. created by Bad Moon Art Studio, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna talk a lot about the cover because I love that cover. So if you have any questions that don't involve the cover, you may want to ask those first.
Okay. I don't think anything else about. No, that's.
Because once I get on the cover, we're not gonna stop until we're done.
Okay.
That makes sense.
We'll come back to the cover then. That's fair. I have so many questions about the cover. Okay.
Jess has theories on the cover, so
I have theories. I have
That's
questions.
Okay. It's good.
I
made that cover.
Beyond
We made that cover for that
pixelation.
that purpose.
there was a
Okay.
lot of like us trying to like edit the image to like see it clearer and stuff.
Okay. So last thing about I guess the book, not quite. A poster-sized map of Night City circa 2045 is going to be released as a separate product.
That is the plan, yes.
Are you able to tell us, is this going to be available on the Talsorian shop? Is it print on demand through drive-thru? Has that been decided?
We are still working out exactly how we're going to do it.
Fair enough. Keep your eyes open for that, guys, for announcement. Get them out. I need to find wall space to hang that. Also, by the way, not that this is serious, well, it's semi-serious, but if you guys ever want to make a poster of that cover art, I would buy it. It's gorgeous.
Sure.
Guys, if you haven't looked at it, look at it. It's beautiful.
It really is.
On to 2026 with announced Cyberpunk 2077 campaign book.
Mhm.
The book has taken a few turns in the creative process. First, I think
Yes.
we talked about it as a rule book, then a source book, which is kind of cool to see how things evolve as they are worked on. The announcement
It's true.
that Rob released explained the first portion of the book will contain full rules for creating a campaign and or playing Cyberpunk RED in the Edgerunner Cyberpunk 2077 era. Well, the second
Yes.
portion is a full multi-mission campaign taking place in Night City circa 2077. This feels
Also
like
true.
a lot in one
It's
book.
going to be a decent book. The truth is, the rules don't actually require too much space. We sat down, James and I, and Mike sat down and we worked on it, and we decided, a lot of the stuff that would have taken up room was stuff already in the Red Core rulebook. Once you focus on specifics, once you focus on the 2077 specific stuff, it gets a lot shorter. And so we felt like we had a choice. We can either do a campaign book where we give you something to play, which is great, or we give you a lot of lore. And as much as I love the lore, the truth is that right now the lore is in other places, collected in several other places, and we felt that really what you needed was we wanted a campaign. People wanted to play 2077, and people responded really well to our campaign books, so we're making a new one, and that's what we want to do. We want to tell a story in 2077, and that's the important thing, because we wouldn't tell you anything new, really, about the 2077 era. That's the information's already out there in a couple of places. It's nothing. And Adventures is where we can really make up and tell a story.
Speaking about the campaign now, there's speculation that it may have originated from the third 2077 DLC that was teased but never released. Do you have any? My most media voice ever. Do you have any comment on that?
I do not. In fact, that is not true. The thing that is going to be, the thing that was going to be the third DLC will be in the rules section.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not gonna say what it is, because we're not that far enough along yet to really make announcements, and it could get cut. So I'm going to leave it there and just say that no, it was not a second adventure.
I'm sure that'll make at least some people, that answers a question, so thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Last, Rusted Chrome is sadly on hold due to the rejiggering of the production schedule.
Yes.
It may go back on the schedule, it may be released as DLCs. As you've mentioned, some stuff is going to be in Soul of Fortune 2045.
Yes.
Is there
some of the stuff is going to be installed, of course, in 2045. A little bit of Nomad lore actually made it into single player mode from that book.
Another reason to pick up single player mode, guys, if you love Nomads and you want more Nomad lore.
Very, very. I cannot overstate. Very little, like a sentence per Nomad nation, made it from there to single player mode.
But if you want a sentence of Nomad lore from every nation,
yes.
that's also in single player mode,
yeah.
which is a great book you should get anyway.
Get solo play.
So I'm sorry. Yeah. What was your question?
I think it was just if there's anything else that you can let us know, but that's good.
Yeah. A lot of it some of it has already actually been taken out of Rustichrome and used in a DLC or two. Some of it will just go into other things. Some of it will go on other projects down the road. The truth is, as much as we love Chromebooks, and Chromebooks so well, that's true, they are also really expensive to make. And we felt that for the same amount of time in terms of our budget, we could work on multiple projects and not just this one project.
I like more projects.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for the announcements. I'm not quite cover art yet, sadly. But to fill in the gaps before all these wonderful things release, Cyberpunk RED monthly DLCs will continue, correct?
Yes.
Yay!
Absolutely, every month.
July's DLC, Going Quiet, was such a huge success. I saw both on the Discord with our group. I haven't seen our group of players get real excited for a DLC in a long time, and everyone who read it was like, we need to add this to our game now. I need a shopping episode next session. Hasn't happened yet, but that drive is so there. Most importantly, we got to see a continuation of Barry's mystery.
Very important. I knew that was important to you, so I too felt Gary needed a little justice.
So important. I could not stop smiling. So, thank you. Also, I know that for you, I've seen you mention a few times that heists are you've always promoted heists for Cyberpunk RED.
Oh yeah, I mean, Mike himself has said it that Cyberpunk is a heist movie, not an action flick. And it just the rule here are now some more stuff to help support that concept that I really like. I'm a big leverage fan.
But how did you feel about having such a positive response to a DLC that helps supplement heists and stealth play?
Oh God, I'm really excited that it did. I'm happy. That's just I'm always happy when people respond well. And as the line manager and as a primary writer on something, I'm always thrilled when people like things I make. So I'm happy. I'm happy with how well the heist mission in Hope Reborn was accepted. Excuse me. There is, without getting into too many spoilers, in Hope Reborn, there's actually a choice at one point between a con heist type job and a violence type job. And I was really happy to see in playtest that it came down to roughly 50-50 as to which path people went down. And that was really nice. There's so much, and this is, I don't begrudge people wanting to talk guns and combat because it's the easiest thing to talk to and it's the most crunchy, it has the most moving parts, and so it is the thing that you can build the most, and so it fills a lot of space. But there's so much conversation about guns and combat and optimization and martial arts that every once in a while it's really nice to see that the people out there are engaging with other methods of play. With it's not just they're not going into it expecting just bang 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 all the time. They do want other styles and a mixture, and that's really good. And I love a good Friday Night Firefight. I do, but it's really good to see that people are also engaging with the quiet and the sneaky and the social and the stealthy.
Yeah, I think between that and the Building a Mystery DLC, I think we've got a good basis for telling different style of cyberpunk stories, which I think is super important.
No,
I agree. I think, and that is important. You need a variety because if it's all violence all the time, it gets. We talk about this in the beat chart. If it's always action all the time, it gets very old very fast. Not to mention that every time you roll the dice in a combat, there's one more chance your character is going to roll a 1 while they roll a 10, even if you have a reflex of 8 and a high evasion.
Yes. Though speaking of firefights, the August DLC, which if you guys have not picked it up, it released I think last week, go and do so. It's called So You Missed GenCon, and it contains the demos and missions that were run at GenCon, so if you couldn't attend, you still get to play. We played last week, we played through Friday Night Firefight, which was a lot of fun on stream. Though we highly recommend Cleanup Crew if you can somehow, don't spoil it for yourself, but get your GM to include Cleanup Crew into your campaign. Highly recommend.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, both are good. GMs, please be aware that these are all 4 missions. The two 1-hour missions and the 2 4-hour missions are designed for con play, convention play, which means, for example, we don't care about giving elaborate rewards because they're never going to use it again. You may want to scale the reward down for your campaign, or you may want to change things.
I loved that in the book because there's literally a reward in there that you're like, if you're playing an ongoing game, don't give this to your players.
Not this one. Scale it back.
Yeah. So yeah, be aware. Also, we publish it exactly as we gave it to the GMs. So literally, there are instructions for the GMs to send people to our booth, which it won't do you much good at home.
I mentioned that actually last week during our episode. That if anybody was looking for you to check booth, what was it, 126 or whatever?
249.
Oh,
249,
so
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just be aware of that. I was like, yeah, you want to see them exactly as they were at Gen Con. You want to see what a Gen Con is. And this little behind the scenes, which is cool. And it's like literally instructions. It's like, make sure someone picks the Nomad. Because you're going to need it for this adventure. That kind of thing. If you can't fit this into 4 hours, here's what you cut out. That kind of thing.
I like that.
Yeah,
though,
I really enjoyed that. Oh, sorry.
I like the thing of like how to speed up or how to slow down if necessary, because especially if you're like a new GM and you're trying to get people just like to give a taste, or like let's just do a one shot to see if we like this, having that little guide of like how to cut or expand, so helpful.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I really enjoyed and it wouldn't work in a ongoing game, and you were very clear about that in it. But the like, hey, this is how they could use their abilities in the 1 hour ones. That like, that not really how it works in the game, but for the point of a 1 hour session, it showcases it. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That was very important because as you're working on it, you want people to be able to play all the roles. And a media's role and a fixer's role are useless in the middle of a fight. So we had to come up with ways to simulate the concept. Essentially, if you had a full multi-session campaign, you would be able to do this. And we're going to bring it down into a single role you can pull into the middle of combat. And that was important. So you get an idea of what it is in a very truncated, abbreviated format. You can just give you an idea. Yeah, the media can make a story, and the story can have an impact on things. The fixer can get you cool stuff. The tech can upgrade your gear. Those are all important things. And we're just going to say, yeah, we're going to pretend like you were having a larger session and did it outside the session, and they're doing it now. Also, the Friday Night Firefight demo is in a video game, and everything's gamified there, so that's okay.
Right, you can get away with it.
It makes a little less sense in Fire at the Forlorn Hope Festival.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I think both are really good starting points. Like, if you can't get people to convince people to be like stick around long enough to play the apartment yet, be like, hey, let's just do an hour Friday night firefight session and see how you feel about it. Like, it's a good foot in the door kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great for that. Or if you want to run it at your local game for a game day, game shard for a game day, anything like that, please take them and enjoy them. These are heavily tested. They've gone through the ringer in multiple sessions, so they're good.
There have been a few DLCs that have released since you've last been on the sofa. It's been a while. Was there
Yes.
anything you want to comment on that players may have missed, or you found particularly exciting in... I don't have a specific thing to point to, I'm so sorry.
Okay, they're all exciting. I will say that 100 logos sounds like kind of boring because it's like, oh, it's 100 logos, and that's great if I'm a GM making a screen sheet. There's lore in that. Go read that.
Mm-hmm.
There's new lore in that about companies, especially if you're like playing an exec or something, or you have an entity, you can learn about your company. It is rare we put out a DLC that doesn't have something in it for everybody. If you could just find it and tease it out. That's just been our Tal way from the very beginning. Is almost everything we put out has something cool in it for everybody. So yeah, go enjoy. Download them. We have more coming. There'll be one coming this month, the next month, and the month after that, and then December. There'll be many more DLCs.
There's good stuff there.
There is.
Speaking of December, I know you don't talk about upcoming products. I'm going to ask these questions anyway.
Okay.
Will December continue the 12 days tradition?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, my favorite thing about the 12 days DLCs are the songs at the beginning, and I was super sad that Red Mist didn't have one. I loved the story, and you gave a little song lyric in 12 Days of Cutie Miss. I was thrilled. So all I want to know is, do we get a song this year?
I will let you know when I write it.
Okay.
I don't know until then. We plan the basics ahead of time, but like things like the fiction and stuff that gets written pretty much right before we publish.
Okay. I'm just going to remain hopeful. My Christmas wish this year is that 12 Days gets a song.
I am aware that we disappointed you.
Was it? Well, I was sad. I also realize I'm an outlier, and most people probably won't like the story. So
I get that. They're both good. James just really wanted to write that story.
It's a really good story.
It is. He did a good job.
He did. I'll just, I need to compile like a Cyberpunk Christmas Carol book.
That would be cool.
Songs. Yeah. Okay. Cyberpunk RED in 2026. All the announcements for the line, and that's everything, guys. And that takes us through was that 4 or 5 titles, not including the DLCs, to the end of this year and the beginning of next. There is so much coming out. But I noticed the only thing that had a 2026 time frame was the 2077 book. Are things shifting
and the Night
to that
City book
era,
may come out.
Yeah,
No,
that was kind of on
shifting.
that wonky.
There'll be more Red content after that. That's just as far as we're going in announcements and places. Red still remains our primary priority.
Beautiful.
For both for a variety of reasons, including creative ones. Is that's the one we like playing in our own playground.
Wonderful. That's perfect. Games, did you have any other questions about the announcements? I have one more question, then we're going to get to the cover.
I don't. I just want to get to the cover stuff because there's a lot there.
There's so much there. Okay, so my last really quick question that you may or may not be able to answer is the community content program. And I added this super last minute because there was a lot of chatter around it recently. Is it going to be available for all our Talsorian games or just for... Because I believe Rob had hoped it would be ready for when Shadowscar releases, the rulebook. Is it for...
About that.
Sorry?
I can talk about.
Nothing you can talk about. Okay, cool. Cover!
Yep. Yep.
Alright. So the cover, I'm sorry guys, I did not prep it so that it would be on the screen for you. Head to Talsoriangames.com and I'm sure it's one of their most recent blog posts and look at it, and it's glorious and it's wonderful. And I don't know what I can ask and what I can't ask.
Anything you want. You're free to ask whatever you want. I am always free to say no, I can't answer that.
That is true. Okay.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, that's been beautifully established. Okay, so first question, I guess the first thing I noticed, because I'm weird, are the holographic bicycles.
Yes. They're
Yang's
motorcycles.
Wheels? Oh, they're motorcycles.
No, those are motorcycles.
Okay.
They are probably Zondas.
Okay. I think I might be a little disappointed that they're not Yang's bicycles. But that makes sense because I was like, I always pictured Yang's as like a very small operation, and I was like, is it much bigger than I thought it was? Because, man.
He's not. Holographic ads are expensive. He is not buying holographic ads in the middle of Little Europe. No.
I didn't think so, and I was like, man, if that's his headquarters, it's way bigger than I thought it was. Like, I misunderstood Yang's entirely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that answers that.
No. Yang's Wheels is in the Haywood Industrial District.
Okay. Very cool. Man, where do I want to start? Games, do you have any questions? You said you have questions. Let's alternate.
No, so I was gonna ask, like, are there high reses of all of those signs? Because I need to know what they say.
Well, yeah. So did you guys not get the email Rob sent where he said, like, if you want a high res version of this image, just email him and he'll send it to you?
Yeah, I have that. I still can't make out some of the signs. Even
so
if
yes,
I zoom in.
Okay, so we'll do it this way. I'll quickly go through the story of this part. It starts with concept. And if you look at the cover art for Night City, the original Night City, it's an amazing, gorgeous cover. And it's Cyber Dude, as we like to call him, surrounded by buildings. It's kind of this worm's eye view of him looking up, and there's these buildings that are looming around him, and they're giant, and they're festooned with neon and corporate symbols on them, and there's this feeling of claustrophobia as he is closed in on all sides by these towers. He is trapped in Night City. And one of the things we talked about, Mike and I talked about, was how Night City in 2045 is different, and part of it is the themes of rebuilding is very important, and it's more open because part of it was destroyed and it's being rebuilt. And because it's being rebuilt, we wanted to come up with, you have a chance to affect change in some ways, small ways, but some ways. And so we wanted to take the opposite, where you were down looking up. We wanted to be up looking down, which is the purpose of this cover. Next came the map with Saga Mackenzie making that, because I wanted to make the image something you can look at the map and say, yep, I recognize, I can see the exact sight line, the slice of the map that you are showing. This art was very important to show things from 2020, things from 2045, and things from 2077. So all those things are on there. I did a slice. I made this very long art script, which Winter J translated into Artist with collages of buildings put together. It is like this horrible mishmash Frankenstein of things saying, yeah, I want this building over here, this building over here, this building looks like this. Danger Gal's headquarters is supposed to look like an Art Deco Japanese school. It looks very much like a Japanese high school, which is Japanese high schools have a very Art Deco 1920s building style. If you ever looked at a Japanese high school in an anime and said, hey, that looks kind of like the Hall of Justice from the Super Friends cartoon, that's because they have the same kind of design concepts. So we did that, putting it in, and then came the signs. So when Badman first brought this to us, there came a point where they put it in, we had some signs specifically etched out, like this is the Continental Brands, this is a Continental Brands vertical neighborhood, and so it needs to have Continental Brands logo on it. It's a Danger Girl headquarters, it has some Danger Girl headquarters on it.
That's the vertical, okay, sorry.
That is not the Continental Brands building, that's the vertical neighborhood, yes.
Yeah.
And so, but everywhere else there were these signs, they put it in their own. And we were like, oh, well, we can't have that. We can't allow them to be creative. How dare we? What we did is Winter J and I sat down and we were like, I took the high-res version and I literally went in and Photoshop and I put numbers next to each sign. And then we went in and said, okay, for this sign, change this to this. Put Ziggurat on this building. It's not Ziggurat's building, it's just they have a sign on it. Advertising Ziggurat. Here or there. And then when there was room, when they were bigger, we made ads. Either we used ads or for existing, for example, I think you found Seth Skorkowski's.
Jax, yes.
The Jax ad, we put that in. In other cases, we made new ads, like the Combat Zone ad for the Combat Zone television show. I made a new ad for that. Winter J made the new Blue Kibble ad, and a few other ads. So yeah, and then in the case that like we just literally like sometimes it was big, where we had to replace an ad. Sometimes it was small, where it was just changing the name on a building. And in every case, and then sometimes we left their stuff in because their stuff was generic enough that we weren't too concerned about it from a legal standpoint, and it looked good artistically. So yeah, it went through multiple revisions, multiple times, where we're like, okay, we want the punks on the AV at the edge of the hot zone bigger, and so that they feel like more of a presence in the art. And they were great to change that. Of course, that necessitated changing the size of the NCPD cop AV as well, which also means they had to change the size of the reflection in the building it's in front of. But they did an amazing job. I must have written at least a page and a half on every building that I wanted to put in there. And they did an amazing job putting that together and making it look good. And you have St. Michael's, you have Danger Gal, you have the Night Corp headquarters, you have the vertical neighborhood, you have the spaceports being built in the background, you have construction, you have the edge of the hot zone. It is just an amazing piece of art that I am super, super proud that we're being able to present to the world. It's a shame in a way that I'm going to have to put a logo on it.
Yeah. Again, poster one. No, it really is. It really is. You know what? I was wondering. I didn't put together that was the vertical gardens because I did notice that each section had different colors, and I was like, "There's got to be a reason for that," and that's because that's the different
different neighborhoods.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, it was supposed. My instructions were saying, "I want you to make this building as if it were assembled by a toddler putting it together with bricks that do not interlock with each other."
They did a great job.
Building blocks that do not interlock with each other, and paint each one a different color as if they were incapable of understanding how color palettes work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and through the process you described, like the picture itself is just so interesting. There's so much there to look at, like the individual details and stuff.
Yeah, no, it was. I wanted to be something, and they've hid their stuff in there, and we hid stuff in there, not so much there. But I wanted to be something you could look at, and every time you looked at it, you found something new. That was very important.
Yes. I do like the broken Arasaka sign that's there.
Yes, that's actually. I said, put an Arasaka sign in there, and the first time, and then I realized they bought it, I was like, oh no, they put an Arasaka sign. I think I said burned out, and they didn't. But I was like, oh well, burn out a couple of letters, take out the whole thing, burn it out, and then take out a couple of letters, and it's like that was very important. But it's I said Arasaka should have a presence. Arasaka should always have a presence in Night City, even when Arasaka doesn't have a presence in Night City.
Yes.
It's like Detroit, 100 years from now, Detroit may not be a city in which cars are made, but cars will still have a presence. The making of cars will still have a presence in Detroit.
Oh yeah, it'll always be part of the identity.
Yep.
Let's talk about the back of the jacket of this sniper.
Yes.
I'm gonna say Nomad. It is a motorcycle club jacket.
Yes. Those two characters are on the back of the Game Master screen.
Huh.
Do you know how long it's been since I've looked at the back of the Game Master screen?
Well,
yeah, I usually just see the one side.
If you don't play in person, the very cool, amazing art on the back makes sense. But yes, those two characters were created by Winter J, and they are from the back of the Cyber Dude Jr. and the Romani biker are from the Game Master screen.
Oh,
and
yes.
Winter J worked hard to make sure that she designed the back of the biker's jacket, and she worked hard to make sure that it stayed the same in this from the Game Master screen.
Great job. What is the name of on the jacket?
Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure she knows, and I just and she's told me, and my brain is not. It actually says something.
Just say it's a company secret.
No, I remember Winter J is Romany, and it is a Romany proverb, but I don't remember the exact proverb.
Okay, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What were some of the other things I found that I can ask, or we can ask about? I did like the Ask Alex Anything ad, even though I find it very disturbing. That was really cool.
It is absolutely. It should ask out anything Ziggurat does should be absolutely disturbing.
Which is why Moxie, by the way, never uses her agent. I think it's such a cool concept where your agent's like your personal assistant, and Moxie, like my character, sorry, is so anti-technology because of things like that.
If you get enough money, there's a place you can live in Pacifico, which is very Luddite, and also very expensive. It's like you pay for the privilege of not having advanced technology there.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's see. There is a building with a sign that says The Cage.
Yes, that was named by Bad Moon. It is probably a club.
Okay. And then there's a sign, a neon, a holographic sign beside that says "Watch out for." Is it aliens?
Also Bad Moon. I don't remember what they specifically said, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. We'll leave it in." So these are things that we're leaving. The GM can make them anything they want them to be.
Beautiful. All right, games, you get your aliens. There is a Night City display below, I guess, the holographic woman bathing in the water.
Yes.
I can't read what's under that, wherever it says under Night City. Am I supposed to be able to?
No.
Okay,
no.
Cool.
It's gobbledygook. It's just like, it's supposed to be like, oh, this is a little bit of a touristy part, and sort of like Times Square.
I did my best to manipulate that image and like color shift it and everything, and could not decide what it said. I was like, I don't think this is English.
Yeah.
No, it's a cool thing.
Now the one beside it that says "We're watching you."
I mean, that's just Night City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a
They're watching
specific
it.
company or anything, just very ominous.
Just be on your best behavior. You don't know who's watching you.
Beautiful.
Is it NCPD? Night Corp? Is it the aliens? Is it the AIS? Someone's watching you all the time, everywhere you are.
Love it.
Maybe it's Ziggurat.
It's always a garage.
And Santa. Santa's watching.
Santa's watching.
That is true. It's an ad. That's what it is. It's really Santa's ad.
Santa is watching. Yes.
Okay. What can we talk about? If I've read this right, is it Slay Day?
Yes, Slay Day is that is an advertisement for the Great River, which we introduced in Black Chrome. It is a home shopping and delivery service run by Ziggurat. Mm-hmm. The Great River, if you can't get there, I'm sure you can figure out the connection between another real world home shopping service. Mm-hmm. And Slay Day is their day where they sell weapons on the cheap. If you live in a place where their drone delivery system works, which is only very specific parts of the city. They're not sending drones to the combat zone, but if you live in a nice place like Camden Court or the Exec Zone, you can get your Kodachi Mono 3 at a discount delivered by drone to your house.
Perfect.
I'm a little sad. It reminded me of what is it, the Purge movies, where they have a day where it's just chaos and violence and with the weapons there and the name. That was kind of, I'm like, is this a new TV show? Is this like a promotion of a thing?
It's a sale.
I mean, good marketing. Damn you, Ziggurat. Damn you. What else was there? There was so much. Oh, there's a missing person sign. I like that one.
Yeah, there's a missing person sign. We don't know who it is.
Game says it's Barry, and we're gonna go with that until otherwise lied to.
It must be someone important that they could actually buy, and that their family or loved ones could buy a missing person sign.
That's
the
true.
community got together, the dock workers got together to put one for Barry.
Yeah.
Poor Barry.
Poor Barry. Yeah, there's so many things in this artwork. There's a lot more cars than I think I pictured originally in Night City, so that was kind of cool to see.
There's plenty of cars in Night City and more coming all the time. It's the tail end of the time of the Red. There's local manufacturing. I mean, we didn't list the multiple car companies in Black Chrome because no one's driving anything.
Right.
It's just cars are expensive. Cars are expensive in the real world.
Yeah, but every time we're running across the street, I always argue that it's the time of the Red so I don't get hit by cars.
That's
It never works.
yeah. I wouldn't fall for that either.
Our games are very amusing because it's like there's only cars if we're trying to drive across the street, but if we need to boost one, they don't exist.
There's no cars.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. How did I forget my beautiful blue sign that says "When can go home"?
That is a little bad moon touch.
I thought it was like another little mystery that we.
I'm sure it is on their part, but like the artists, yeah, we like to let the artists hide things too because they work hard. They deserve to put in their Easter eggs.
Well, and that could be, like, as a storyteller, you could have that be your hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great hook if you're a storyteller. If you're a GM, place the hook.
I was hoping it was related to the deed of Playland by the Sea. We could talk about that. I'm pretty sure James talked about that from the Alpha and Magic Returns.
It could be.
I think so,
you never know.
See, guys, and that's how you know what? You can make it whatever you want. It's okay.
Right.
Rules.
It's super important. It is very important that we at our Cal don't define everything, as a matter of fact, so that there's room. So we give you prompts and then you do something with it. Whether you as a player, or you as a GM, or you as a group, or you in solo play.
We appreciate it.
Is there anything? I mean, there's so much in this artwork. I think I covered the things that I found.
Yeah, that's the large majority of what we had talked a lot about.
There's a lot of ads in there and small things and cool things, and just like the explosion in the side of the building. But that's one of the kind of things where we wanted to tell multiple stories, even if they're small stories. So encourage everyone, look around, enjoy, find the things, and compare when you get the Night City book. Compare it to the description of Little Europe and see what you find.
I may legit jump to the vertical garden section.
So after you've done the Shadow Scar thing and got solo play, check this out. Buy it too.
Yes. Yeah, just keep consuming, everybody. It's very important what you do.
Obey.
Remember, they're watching you.
Yes.
Who they are, we don't know, but they're watching.
It's very important. I like to pay my bills.
Right.
I think that's all I've got.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think we literally covered all of the notes.
Yeah.
Awesome. And just in time.
Right?
Right?
I did not think that would happen.
Yeah.
Well, this concludes this episode of Night City Sofa. Thank you all for joining us today. Jay, thank you so much for your time, your answers, your insight. It's always such a pleasure to have you here.
I'm always happy. You guys are cool. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being such avid Cyberpunk promoters and fans.
Hopefully we'll get... I was going to say, I would love to get you back on the sofa for when single-player mode releases, but you've got so much that you are working on. I don't know if that's...
We'll wait and bother you later.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate being available for an interview for a show for another little bit.
Couple of years.
2026.
Yeah, it gets pretty hectic at this time of year.
But yeah, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Hopefully, when your schedule allows, we can schedule another chat.
Yeah, that would be cool.
They say Civil War returning next week. Games and I are going to go over the Cyberpunk RED data pack and why you should absolutely pick it up and give it a read. It is full of so many good bits of information.
For sure.
If you want to connect with Edge Runners HQ, you can find us on Blue Sky, Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube. And until next time, Jooms. Yeah, for now.
Goodbye.